Welcome back. We're really glad you're joining us again as we continue exploring the course in practice.
Yeah, thanks everyone for being here. Today's a review episode, Review Lesson 5. These reviews are so important, you know.
They really are. And they're also where we try to tackle some of your questions. So please keep sending them. Email us at acim@theworldharmonyproject.org.
Or find us on TikTok and YouTube at The World Harmony Project. We love hearing from you. And yeah, tell folks about what we're doing here.
Absolutely. So today's review centers around that massive truth. God is but love, and therefore so am I.
Mm-hmm. We've talked about that one before, so we won't break it down again today, but it's kind of the lens, the foundation for everything else we'll look at.
Right, and the two specific lessons we're revisiting through that lens are Lesson 153, In My Defenselessness, My Safety Lies, and Lesson 154, I Am Among the Ministers of God.
Two big ones.
Yeah.
And they can seem pretty counterintuitive at first glance, can't they?
Yeah.
Especially 153.
Definitely. Let's start there. Lesson 153. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. I mean, that just flies in the face of everything the world seems to teach us about staying safe.
And the Course doesn't mince words about the world's approach. It lays it out pretty starkly.
Yeah, it says, you who feel threatened by this changing world, attend this lesson well. The world provides no safety.
Right. It calls the world rooted in attack and says all its gifts, the things that seem like security, they're just illusory deceptions.
It attacks and then attacks again. No peace of mind is possible where danger threatens thus. It sounds pretty bleak when you put it like that.
It does, but it's setting us up for this radical alternative, this idea that true safety isn't found where we usually look. Defenselessness isn't weakness.
Mm-hmm.
It's actually where our real strength is.
Exactly. The Course says it plainly. Defenselessness is strength. It testifies to recognition of the Christ in you.
Mm-hmm. And it goes on. We look past dreams today and recognize that we need no defense because we are created unassailable.
Without all thought or wish or dream in which attack has any meaning. Created unassailable. Wow. That's a lot to take in.
It is. Because everything around us seems to scream the opposite, right? Build higher walls, get better armor, be on guard.
Protect yourself, emotionally, physically, even your reputation. We think being tough is being safe.
I know. I certainly felt that. I remember earlier in my career feeling like every meeting, every project was potentially, a minefield.
Yeah.
Always having to prove myself, never show any vulnerability, always anticipate the angle, the potential criticism. It was utterly exhausting.
I bet.
And the crazy thing was, the more effort I put into those defenses, the less safe I actually felt.
Yeah.
Because the whole stance was based on fear.
That makes perfect sense. It's like the world's logic is a trap. It makes you afraid, tells you to build defenses, but those defenses just keep you locked in the fear, feeling separate and always on edge.
Exactly. Whereas the Course is saying, look, safety isn't something you build on the outside. It's what you are. It's inherent.
Because God is but love, and therefore so am I. If that's true, if we are love, then fundamentally we can't be harmed. Defenselessness is just dropping the belief that attack is even possible against our true self.
Right. It's letting go of the idea of vulnerability.
Yeah.
It reminds me a bit of that line from Dune. Fear is the mind killer.
Oh, yeah.
Fear makes us think we're vulnerable, so we build defenses. But often, those defenses just provoke the very conflict or isolation we were trying to avoid.
So dropping the defenses isn't making yourself more vulnerable.
It's stepping out of the illusion of vulnerability you were maintaining. The big realization, the aha moment, is that safety isn't gained by guarding yourself. It's simply uncovered when you let the guard down.
Okay, that's a powerful shift. And it leads us actually quite naturally into the next lesson, 154.
I am among the ministers of God.
Mm-hmm.
Once you start to grasp that safety comes from within, from your invulnerable nature, it kind of opens up this whole different perspective on why we're here, what our purpose is.
Yeah. And the Course seems to know we'll get confused about this role, maybe think it's about ego or being special.
Right. It says, let us today be neither arrogant nor falsely humble. We have gone beyond such foolishness. It's not about puffing yourself up or pretending to be small.
Uh-huh. We cannot judge ourselves, nor need we do so. These are but attempts to hold decision off. It's about accepting a function.
A function that's already given. It says, whatever your appointed role may be, it was selected by the voice for God. That voice knows our strengths, knows exactly how they can be used.
So it takes the pressure off, doesn't it? We don't have to figure out our grand purpose or try to invent one. It's more about listening.
Exactly. Listening and accepting. And our part as a messenger is just to receive the messages. It says, you who are now the messenger of God, receive his messages. Because in doing that, we identify with the source, with God, and we claim what's already ours.
So this idea of being a minister of God, it's not about a specific job title or, wearing robes.
Not at all. It's about being a conduit, a channel for love. In whatever way that looks in your life, your interactions, your thoughts, your presence.
The lesson statement itself feels so empowering and freeing. I am among the ministers of God, and I am grateful that I have the means by which to recognize that I am free.
There's the freedom again. It connects right back to the defenselessness. If God is but love, and therefore so am I, and my job, my function is to be a minister of God,
Yeah.
well, then my function has to be about extending love.
Because that's what God is.
Right. So extending love isn't some chore or sacrifice. It's just being what you are. Doing that helps you recognize what you are. It brings the joy, the peace, the freedom. It's a beautiful cycle.
Recognizing defenselessness brings safety. Safety allows you to accept your function as a minister, which means extending love, which confirms you are loved and therefore safe. It all locks together.
It's a totally consistent thought system. And, if you see yourself as a minister extending love, how can you not start seeing others that way too? Suddenly, everyone's part of the same plan.
Which dissolves judgment and attack. It loops right back to defenselessness. You don't need to defend against another minister of God.
Exactly. It changes everything.
Okay, so this all sounds profound, and it is. But how does it actually work? In the messy parts of life, we got a really fantastic question from a listener that gets right to that point.
Yeah, I remember this one. It really hit home for me too, thinking about my own kids. Go ahead.
Okay, the listener asks, when my teens get hurt, like playing sports or just taking a bad tumble, how can I help them understand defenselessness so they do not go straight into anger or feeling like a victim?
Oh, that's such a real question. Because it's one thing to sit here and talk about these ideas calmly.
Right.
It's another thing entirely when your kid is crying or furious and your own protective instincts are firing on all cylinders.
Totally. So how do we approach that?
Well, I think the first thing, and maybe the most important, is don't try to skip the human moment.
Yeah.
The course isn't about pretending feelings don't exist.
Okay. So acknowledge the hurt, the anger.
Absolutely. Let them feel it. Validate it. Wow, yeah, that really stunk. I totally get why you're mad. Just being heard, being seen in their feeling, that's huge. And actually, us not fighting their feeling, that's a form of defenselessness on our part.
Ah, interesting. Not trying to immediately fix or dismiss their reaction.
Exactly. Just being present with it.
Yeah.
And then maybe once things have calmed down a bit, you can gently introduce the other idea.
The defenselessness as strength part.
Yeah. But gently. Not as a lecture, more like sharing a deeper truth. Maybe something simple like, you are so much bigger than that fall, that scrape, or that unfair call from the ref. It can't actually touch the real you.
Mm.
And when you can stay kind of calm and steady inside, even when stuff happens on the outside, that's real strength. Way stronger than getting mad back.
Planting a seed, basically.
Exactly. And honestly, especially with teens, what we do speaks way louder than what we say. How do we react when we stub our toe or someone cuts us off in traffic?
Good point. If we lose it over small stuff.
Right. But if they see us pause, maybe take a breath and choose calm. Maybe even say out loud, oof, okay, I could get worked up about that, but nah, it's all right. I'm okay. No big deal. That modeling sinks in way more than any talk.
So it really starts with us, our own practice of defenselessness.
I've definitely noticed with my own kids, if I react to their hurt with my own fear or anxiety, trying to fix everything frantically, they often get more upset.
Yeah, it makes sense. They pick up on our energy.
But if I can manage to stay centered, stay calm myself, my peace kind of becomes an anchor for them. My own defenselessness in that moment actually contributes to their feeling of safety.
That's a really helpful way to think about it.
And then, maybe even later, totally separate from the incident, when everything's calm, you could gently bring it up again. Hey, remember that wipeout during the game the other day? You got scraped up pretty good,
Yeah.
right? But you're still you.
Yeah.
Nothing fundamental, nothing real about you was actually hurt. That's kind of like the safety. The Horse talks about the part of you that can't ever really be harmed no matter what happens out here.
Just reinforcing the idea over time.
Yeah. Planting seeds. Being the calm space. Demonstrating that fighting and defending isn't the only way to feel safe. And trusting that the understanding will grow.
And remembering for ourselves in that moment that deep down, our child is safe in truth. Our own calm, our own defenselessness is maybe the most powerful way we minister to them right then.
Beautifully put, yeah. Our peace is a gift.
So wrapping things up, we've kind of circled around this powerful interconnection, haven't we? That core truth, God is but love, and therefore so am I, leads us to see that In my defenselessness, my safety lies, which then opens us to accept that I am among the ministers of God.
Yeah, it's all one piece. Real safety isn't about walls. It's about remembering who we are, extensions of love, inherently invulnerable.
And accepting our role as ministers isn't some big ego trip or burden. It's just embracing our natural function to be channels for that love.
Which, paradoxically, is what brings us back to our own joy, our own peace. It's not just ideas on a page, is it? It's meant to be lived.
Definitely. So maybe a little practice for you today, just something to try.
Thank you.
When you feel that little prickle of defensiveness rising up,
Oh,
or fear or judgment or the urge to attack or justify, just for a second, pause. Take a breath. And silently repeat these ideas together. In my defenselessness, my safety lies. I am among the ministers of God. God is but love, and therefore so am I.
just hold those thoughts.
Yeah, and just notice if there's even the tiniest shift inside, a little softening maybe, a moment's pause in the reactivity. That little shift is the practice. Experiencing it, even for a second.
That's the provocative thought right there, feeling that shift happen within you.
Exactly. And hey, if you haven't already, please do subscribe to us over on YouTube. We're at the World Harmony Project. It really helps other people find this.
Appreciate that support.
Thank you so much.
Thanks, everyone. We'll look forward to connecting again tomorrow.